It be different than shining in your eyes when I'm missing. Your body Ferrari, but your mind is my interest. You finding your find in the sky, we gon' ride the eclipse like a Mercury transit.
Peace, y'all. Today with Star Card Astrology, and I'm here to give you your daily astrology guidance for Wednesday, October 10th, 2022. Let's pop this off. Yeah. All right. So we have the sun still making its squares to the nodes. And that energy is not going to change for even after my solar return, right around there, until it makes its square. I mean, it's going to make a direct square with Mars eventually here. But so we're still trying to make sure that we're feeling connected to our value. That's a big deal with these squares to the nodes. Like, Uranus is kind of wanting us to feel like the human aspect of our value. The South Node is trying to pull us away from our value. And Mars is wanting us to move into it. But this is also where the sun is still making its trine with Chiron. So this is where a lot of healing of the soul is happening. A lot of healing of the soul. And we're starting the opposition to Saturn. So these days aren't easy. They aren't easy. And it only gets more intense. It only gets more unpredictable and revealing. More and more and more as we go on. We're not going to get a break. So this is for guidance, right? This isn't for predictions. I'm not at that point where I make predictions. This is more of guidance through the energies. And if I could guide you through the energy, the ones to pay attention to is still this opposition with Venus and Pluto, who by the end of the day will meet up with the moon. So this is where a lot of emotions can change. Relationships can change very drastically and quickly. So that is the main thing to pay attention to. But we do have this sense of clarity when it comes to our thoughts right now. With Mercury in Virgo, it's at home in Virgo. That's where it loves to be. Okay? And it is making a Ceci square. So, again, our thoughts about change are not going to be easy, but Mercury in Virgo is allowing us to really focus on the details on how to change or where to change, and at least give us some type of grounding to move through that change, especially if it's a harder aspect of change that we may not be prepared for, or that we don't really want to let go of. We have that support for Mercury, in my personal opinion, with Mercury at home. I have Mercury at 0 degrees Virgo in my natal chart. So communication is clear. Thoughts are definitely all over the place, but in an organized way. So I would say that because, the mind is always constantly running. It's always constantly going. And that's okay. I think people get overwhelmed by that and think they're the only ones that have a mind that just keeps going. But you're not. Like, we all have a crazy mind. Most of us do. Some people maybe not. But I think more than average have a mind that just is all over the place. But Mercury in Virgo has more clarity when it comes to how they want to convey what they want to say, which means that you have some type of organization to your thoughts in order for them to be communicated properly and clear and concise. So I think that's a good support element. The moon in Aquarius may not be such a supportive element emotionally. There might be a lot of detachment by the end of the night because I ran it for 9 p.m. But as it meets up with Pluto, you might see your emotions flip from how it was yesterday and what you were feeling, especially as it meets up with Pluto. Then it's directly opposed Venus today. So how you feel about relationships could show up in a totally different way today and really change some relationships for sure. I think the main thing is having a clear mind through these times, not questioning what is meant for you, not getting caught up in these Chiron and Aries dealings where you're still caught up in ego and how other people think of you and what they think you're doing, and if they identify with you and how you live your life. And that's what Aries has a lot to do with, is the identification, ego, and taking action. So where, especially with Chiron, like, where are you not taking action? Are you giving a fuck about what other people think too much? And are you having issues with identifying with what you want in life? Those things are coming up heavily right now. And the way through it is to trust your mind. Trust that you have enough capability to move through these energies, to move through this chaotic time where things are unraveling and revealing themselves. Trust your intuition. It will guide you to where you are supposed to be. So let's see what the cards say for today. The card of the day. We have this 4 of Wands. So yeah, I mean, there might not be a lot of harmony There might not be a lot of people on the same page. It's funny because look, that looks like a bunch of pages everywhere stirring up, and it's reversed. This is where people can go in their own directions. Marriages, households. I mean, I would say whatever you deserve in life will come into your life and stay in your life, even though some things are temporary. So just allow the universe to do what it's going to do. Allow people to go and people to come in. Allow people to talk. Allow people to shut up. Allow people to apologize. Allow people to not hurt you. That's for sure. Don't allow people to hurt you, but allow people to be people and make mistakes and figure out where they want to be in life and what they want to do and how they want to move. And try not to let that, try to detach from that emotionally. Try to detach from that emotionally, because a moon in Aquarius is telling us to detach emotionally. And sometimes what I've learned to do well is allow myself to be the observer of life. There's times where you got to step in and, act a certain way and do whatever needs to be done. But there's also times where you can just observe and not have this emotional attachment to everything and everyone, because we're empathic and we'll just send ourselves spiraling and start wilding out and whatever. And I'm not that type of person. I don't like when I get too emotional and over emotional and, get hot headed. That's not me. So sometimes I have to detach from what I'm observing in life to not having a direct emotional response, so I can process that first before I start to move in a direction emotionally. And I think that's a practice that's not easy. It's not even easy for me, but I've practiced it and continue to practice it. So that's where I think a lot of the key lies in the next few days. So I hope that helps. And until next time, one love.
Cause your vibe may be different and shine in your eyes what I'm missing. Your body Ferrari, but your mind is my interest. You find in the sky, we gon' ride the ecliptic like a Mercury transit.